Good morning. Welcome to Community Voice. I'm your host, Keith Parris. I want to thank everybody for joining us this morning. Good morning, Debo. Good morning, Clark.
Who you with?
There he
You
is.
fool.
Good morning, Jermaine.
Good morning there, sir.
And to everyone who's listening this morning. Um, I also was at Lee Hamilton's event yesterday, um, as I am a member of the National Association of Black Journalists, finally. And so I was there to I heard most of it, and then I kind of cut out after the Q&A. A couple things stood out though. James Causey was one of the people there, and he asked this question. I know Michelle mentioned it in her program. Was talking about corporate punishment and whooping, and how, and I put in quotation, whoopings is a part of our culture. You know, yesterday Tyrone called in and talked about his mom telling him to go wait in the room, and then she came in and whooped him with an extension cord. And there's been schools of thought now, certainly people who go in, psychologists, psychiatrists, even sociologists who will go in and talk about um, whether or not, well, they ask the effectiveness of corporal punishment. Um, and people, um, you know, did it contribute to us becoming the people that we are? There are many who believe that, not many, I sound like the president now. But there is a school of thought out there that what we call whoopings is a legacy of enslavement. That this is what um, the enslaver did to garner discipline. That discipline was always meted out with an audience. Uh, there is a next resurrection season. I want to do a message because I heard a guy say that crucifixion requires a witness, and it's the same thing when you're doing that punishment in the public square, where you're saying to the other enslaved, if you do this, this will happen. I was talking to Faith. I was sitting next to Faith, and we got to talking, and it just hit me. And yes, my mom did execute corporal punishment. That wasn't unusual for a lot of different reasons. And I think based on her being a single parent, 3 children, how do you make sure you maintain discipline, control? This was what was handed down, as this is a way that you maintain control and discipline. But I am so much more than those whoopings I got. It's the environment that you bring the kids up in, right? And so it was my mother putting a book in my hand. It was my mother encouraging me. Those things probably contributed more to me being the person I am today than the whoopings that I got. Because you can go to Waupon right now, and trust me, there's X number of dudes sitting up here who regularly got whoopings, and they still became criminals. So I take a, I think, now, do we eliminate, because people, it is still legal to do corporal punishment with your kids in the state of Wisconsin. But see, I think it's been an excuse, a dodge that people use. Oh, you can't discipline your kids anymore. I think it was a matter of you can't abuse your kids. And sometimes some of those whoopings turned into abuse. But James Causey was a little uncomfortable with that. He said something, though, that really, really precipitated me thinking when he asked the question, well, we grew up in this world where there's violence. We all say put the guns down. We say, this is how we should handle differences. That's a theoretical, intellectual conversation. Practically, that is not how most people do it. There is so much violence in our language and that violent language then can lead to physical violence. I don't know if whooping my child prepares them for a violent world. If anything, it might teach my child this is how you respond with violence, right? And I don't know if he was trying to get into, because I this whole idea that our kids are soft and we're trying to toughen them up for the world, that seems to be rather old hat. First of all, they're children. We need to keep that in mind. They're children. How they react and how they respond to the world is based on how they take information in that environment. I heard Jermaine say that there's a lot of what we do is just learn behavior, is what we see in the environment. If people see that you violently, with your language, this is how you react or respond to conflict, that's what you then instill in your kids. And now we're expecting people to have guardrails that say, you need to know when to shut it down. But, we can talk about the physical violence, but the verbal violence that we perpetrate every day, that's what you hear. How do we talk to each other? How do we resolve conflict? So, I mean, again, I could tell you, I don't have kids. We've had God kids a lot. It's not sitting there. I think maybe a couple of times, might have done something where you popped them on the hand. I remember one time I hit Cameron so hard on the hand with the belt buckle hit him one trying to do that. So I don't know. I think that there are people out there, if you believe that it was whoopings that made you the person that you are today, I'd love to hear from you. 414-444-5250, 414-444-5250. I know there are people who, they're going to go to their grave believing that this is an effective form of discipline. But I'm going to tell you, those little whoopings I got when I was little was nothing compared to being put on punishment when I became a teenager, and now I can't get out. And now you have things you can take from kids. They didn't have anything my mom could take from me. We didn't have anything. But now you have phones, you have tablets. There's a whole lot. And trust me, I know what lockdown was. It was like, man, give me a whooping, because, we going over to Rehoboth today, and I wanted to be part of that, but I can't go. Well, I really got put on punishment once I got to high school. I figured it out. But, yeah, I think that's more effective in terms of discipline a child. When you take away privileges, things that they enjoy to do, that hurts probably more than that little whooping that I got as a child. So I know that there's that was one of the things that stood out when I was kind of where I was when that discussion about corporate punishment came up. He also used the term, and both Faith and I kind of really liked the term, where he talked about Jim Crow survivors. And he was equating the experience of Jim Crow to, like, when you hear people say they're a Holocaust survivor, right? And he talked about that generation prior to those folks prior to 1965 who had to live with this open segregation, open apartheid, and the traumatic impact it had on people, which I thought was very clever. Caller, welcome. Oh, lost them. 414-444-5250, 414-444-5250. Caller, welcome to the program.
Hey, good morning, Keith.
Good morning.
Good morning to the people that's in the studio. When I was being raised, I did get my share of whoopings. But I think that was just maybe part of the example that was set by the adults. The things that we see our parents do and things that we hear our parents say, when I was a child and there was adults around coming to visit my parents, and as kids, if we're around there, my mom would just give us that look. Get out of get out of the living room with the adult because today we have too many adults sharing adult things with our children and setting those adult examples for our children. And I think that's where we continue to go wrong.
Well, what do you mean by that? Please share. I'm curious because I sat there in our ear hustle when I was a kid, so I'm just curious. I mean, they might have put me out the room. I didn't go that far away. I was still sitting there listening to what was going on. So, what do you talked about in terms of adult things that children are seeing?
Well, I would, I would, I would say that I would say the language that's being used. I would say that, hey man, I think kids.
Well, if you're saying the language is being used,
do any?
My mama cussed me out once or twice. Is that the language you're talking about?
No, some of the language is like, you know, when you have your adults that's in one room and they friends and they might be drinking and whatever, the kids are sitting around, the conversations change. Sometimes it changed to something that's inappropriate for kids, but because you're having a grown-up moment and you're talking with your grown-up friends and you realize it's a kid sitting there. Back in the day, they used to tell you, hey man, go outside and play, go downstairs, do whatever. But now you see some people that's having a conversation and they say, oh, the kid ain't listening or they're not paying attention. And we don't understand that these kids are sponges. So anything that's said and done, they pick up and soak it in and wait for the opportunity
so
to
maybe,
do it.
Should we be more mindful then of our conversations, period?
Yeah.
We should be. We should be mindful of our conversations. For instance, I have two sons that are grown men now, and as an adult, I mind my manners in front of my children and all children. There are things that I didn't talk about, and there's most definitely language that I did not use because the examples that the adults set, our kids are watching us, they are marking us, and they may not do it in front of us, but when they get with their peers, they are copying us in regards to what they should be.
The same thing you and I did with our peers.
Oh yes, I did. Most definitely.
I mean, I don't know how I think that is one of those things that just when you get with your peers, there's a certain way you talk. Now, we had some dudes who didn't know no better, right? And you're going to talk about when adults came around, you shut it down. And as soon as they left, you're doing the same thing the adults are doing. Gossiping, running people down, talking crazy, talking trash. I don't know where my goddaughter learned this other than probably watching older people play cards. But you know how we talk stuff when we play cards, right? Oh, we talk mad cash, and so she's going, you going down. It's just like, we ain't playing spades. We playing, you going down. And all I'm saying is, here's the thing that I'm tripping on, and I'm not a censorship guy, but when I'm in children's church and I ask about a movie and these 8, 9, and 10-year-olds have seen the movie, that's when I'm kind of going like, I don't know how to feel about that. I mean, but yeah, I mean.
But let me ask you this question right here. When you were a kid, okay, we got with our peers and we did what we did. However, we respected adults. We did not disrespect adults. We did not use that bad language around adults. Today, anything goes.
Some kids do. A lot of kids don't. A lot of kids don't. They're having conversations, man. They shut it down. We had idiots growing up who, like I said, didn't have guardrails, didn't know no better. Plus, the other piece of it was, chances are, because of how we were so contained, somebody might know your folks. It could get back to your folks. They ain't worried about it getting back to their folks, right?
You know what? But you know what? I'm 72 years old, and I still have respect for everybody. Those morals were embedded in me.
Yeah.
I respect children. It doesn't give me the right to talk any type of way in front of children.
But people
That's
do.
that's not the right thing. They do, and I think that's part of our problem.
Right. Because, you know, it and then we always so nostalgic about how we were just such, oh, I didn't do this back in the day. Oh, but it was a whole lot of stuff you did do back in the day. Okay. And because it's kids being kids. Now, like I learned the hard way. Okay, don't cuss on 11th Street because Carrie Miles is on 11th Street. Carrie Miles ain't on 12th Street.
Right.
You know, so I'm just, you know, I think it all gets around to the environment that the kids are brought up in and what they see. And I don't know if it was you or if it was Jermaine who says, you know, the kids are sponges. They're taking in all of everything. More than anything you say, they're taking in what you're doing. You know, how many kids back in the day got in trouble if they had a dad in the crib and he had a record collection and you went in that record collection.
Right.
Don't find the weed.
Hey, I have two sons. I have two sons. One of my sons is 46. The other one is 41. And these kids still have the utmost respect for everyone, including their parents, because when they come around us, they don't use bad language. If they happen to slip up and say something, they always say, I'm sorry. Well, my bad, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I think
and that's just the way
my mother heard me cuss one time. She heard me cuss one time because she wasn't paying attention, and we went through this light. It was a red light, and I said, "Damn, Mom,
you didn't get backhanded."
Oh, we almost died. I was like, "Damn, you paying attention?" So I'm just saying, but if look, most people know some things you just don't do. They can be appropriate. Now we have others, maybe not so much, you know, and I'm talking about people in our generation. Yeah. You know, like you just do. Did you just really just say that? You know, so I agree. Let me get this last call, T.
Oh, okay.
All right, man. Caller, welcome to the program.
Hey, good morning, Keith. This is Indiana.
Hey, what up, Indiana?
I just want to interject this, man. You know, in today's society, I hear a lot of parents talking to their kids and cursing at them when they talk to them.
Today's society.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, more so than it was. I'm from the same area you are. But
you was at the 3371.
No, I mean, they really cussing at them like they grown folks, man.
Yeah, 3371. Wait a minute, man. Didn't go to church. We got cussed out on the way to church. So.
It's really wrong what I hear a lot of stuff out of it, boy.
Jermaine said, yeah, y'all Baptists.
Yeah, I am. I'm Baptist. All right, man. Good. All right, that's all I want to interject.
All right, man. Appreciate you. So when y'all get cussed out,
it's more like after church.
You ain't gonna ruin my spirit, but when I get your little boy,
but after me and the Lord encounter, we gonna encounter.
Oh man,
say it again.
You ever get a whooping at church?
Come on, man, dude. Listen, I love my mom and them. You notice I said them.
I wasn't talking to you.
I know,
I
but
saw you get a whooping at work.
You just asked the question, so I figured I'd chime in. Listen, I've never seen this in life. That you ever saw like the dominoes, and when you knock one down, they all just get to falling. My mama went down the line one time on the front row and slapped all 9 of us.
I believe it. I've seen it.
I mean, hit one and kept going. And then made us get up and sing.
You're not gonna see those Egyptians.
Oh no,
not in church.
You didn't see them those Egyptians no more.
You'll never see those Egyptians. Oh, I'm gonna embarrass my mama at the church.
She gonna embarrass you.
Oh, she's not just gonna embarrass me.
Man.
You know, we talking about, what does it say, in the military with extreme prejudice?
Yeah.
I mean, and my mother's never really had to discipline us in church.
Yeah.
And part of it was, by the time we got to 14th and Burleigh, church is big. Kids are all up in the balcony.
man.
Now, if your mama had to come up in the balcony
Oh,
because one of those ushers snitched,
yeah, you was in trouble.
now you in trouble. We was all up in the balcony, man. So you wasn't even the little ones had to sit near their moms. When you got to a certain age, you're upstairs, man. You not,
Hey, we had a usher there by the name of RV. No, not RV.
Oh,
Willie.
my goodness.
Willie Mills.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
He would get over there to you, had that white glove on.
Mm-hmm.
He hold right in front of you. That meant spit that gum out.
Yeah.
You ever had that one?
Yeah.
Then he would come to you and say, "Yo, damn, I'm a dead time here."
That goatee.
Huh? Yo, damn, I'm a dead time here. You know what I said, don't you, Chief?
What's that?
Come back at you.
Your grandmama said, "Come here," but he said, "Yo, damn, I'm a dead time here."
What did you say to him?
Jump back
I'm
at
trying to act like I didn't see him, first of all. Because my grandma would be sitting over on the other side of the church. She'd be like,
looking at you. Yeah.
she'd be beckoning for you. You know how they say, "Come here."
I really noticed that about the Church of God in Christ. So many misbehaved children.
Man.
Really?
Listen. Man.
Really, Keith?
Publicly misbehaving children. We Baptists, we try to fly under the radar, right?
Yeah.
It was not in church. Not in church. Now we had one particular fella.
It depends on what you label misbehave, because I never thought I was doing that. She might get mad if I'm chewing gum.
Oh, fidgety, just moving.
Oh, yeah, talking.
Yeah. A lot of people don't like the fact the kids have tablets in church. I think it's great. Put those headphones on.
We didn't have
No,
tablets.
we didn't have tablets in church.
I said there are people today who don't like the idea.
Yeah,
I think it's
shouldn't.
great. They following me theologically.
No.
That 6-year-old.
No. That's
Right.
why you have to break it down and make it fun so they can understand what you're doing. Like, you can't come in there
But
trying to.
But they have kids' church, right?
But I get it, right?
Hey,
So
Jermaine,
you can't teach a
what did
kid.
Keon say about those kids?
Yeah, I know exactly what Keon said about them kids. And you know what? I have the same sentiments on many a day. I feel the same way about it.
Rearranging my thing for those kids.
I almost said it too.
Mhm.
Oh, hey, yo. Community voice. We're gonna take a break. When we get back, we'll be inside Be Healthy, Be You.
I feel the same way about them kids.
Little heathen.
smiling crew today. I don't know why everybody's maybe it's just because I walked in the
Yeah,
room.
that's what
Is
it
that why
is.
everybody's smiling?
You brought the sunshine in my life.
Yeah, and as the mic with the water.
Yes, that's
You have anything to say, Fuji, Fiji?
yeah, that's Fiji. She's not really talking right now. Yeah, she's got
She's got dementia.
She's not really talking.
It's really, but no, we were having, there was a question asked about dementia and Alzheimer's, and Brenda was kind of explaining that and how, well, just share what you had shared with Diva.
Mhm. Well, dementia is a broad term. You know, it's kind of an umbrella term that covers many types of memory loss. You can have dementia from Alzheimer's, which is a very specific type. You can have organic brain disease. You can have it related to alcohol and drugs. It can be a natural part of aging. It can be a circulatory issue. So dementia is a very broad topic. But then when we talk about Alzheimer's, we're talking about a very specific type of memory loss.
Talking off mic, as Keith kind of alluded to, but I guess how we got there is we were unpacking, the show the other night. It had been stated that Gladys struggled quite a bit, but the rumor is that she suffers from dementia. So that's how we even got to that point. Whereas, they were saying that she would sing a bit, then she would stop, and then when she could remember where she was at in the song, what have you, then she'd jump back in, but not for long periods. So, yeah, just kind of wondering about that. What was the difference between the two?
Yeah, and with Alzheimer's, often what you see is that long-term memory, kind of like how we can start singing a song we sang in high school, and we're like, I haven't heard this in 20 years, but I still know the same words.
Right.
So with Alzheimer's, usually that long-term memory tends to be
Those
pretty
weren't the
intact
words.
in the beginning. Right.
They weren't the
Right.
words.
Everything. The dance move at the time,
Yeah,
everything.
I'm thinking like, oh, that's what he was singing about.
Yeah, 'cause my
after
grandmama,
a little bit more experience in life, it kind of makes more sense, right?
my grandmama, we would be playing You Dropped the Bomb on Me. I don't know where she heard You Just a Bumblebee, baby.
Shortcut.
Yeah, the one she said.
No, cut cross.
Cut cross 125th.
Hey, yeah, I'm guilty. I swear for all this time I'm listening, I'm driving in the car like, cut cross.
I give you a church song.
Which one?
Farther along, we'll know all about it.
He was
I
hearing
used to-
farther.
I used to say father, not farther.
Oh,
Yes.
father.
Oh, right.
Oh,
Well,
like-
in a
oh.
church song, you would be thinking father sounds like the right word,
but not
right?
Father. Oh man, I was like, yeah. Well, I do know that the Alzheimer's group, they do this choir, this memory choir.
Mhm.
And Joe Nathaniel has done it. Before that, it was Arlene Skorowski, and then she ended up dealing with dementia.
Mhm.
But yeah, because of certain things.
The water's not alone anymore.
You are not
You have a
alone.
purse or nothing, a briefcase?
You know, I just got up out of Ebenezer and ran over here.
So you brought the spirit with
She
you.
did. She's looking all pretty and bright and green.
Oh, normally she has all this stuff.
I know, but
Where are your glasses?
She left them at church.
I left them at
On the
doesn't
altar.
have to
She
read.
left them on the altar.
Don't ask her to read nothing.
No.
I'm trying to figure out how she see to get over here. That's what everybody should be concerned. We will do a public service announcement. Julia's in her car without her glasses. She's driving right now. You might want to be aware. You might want to take a look.
we are doing a medical mission this Saturday, and so I had packed 200 food bags that we're going to be giving away, and I thought we were done, and then they said now we got to do
The
personal
toiletries, yeah,
hygiene
the hygiene kits.
bags, and I'm like, okay, but yeah. So a lot is going on. Ascension is going to provide free medical services. From
Yeah, some dentistry, vaccinations, a wide variety of things this Saturday.
All at Ebenezer?
Nope, this will be at, I have to look up the address. I'll give it to you later. It's on the south side of Milwaukee.
Yeah.
It will be from 9 until 1. It's like 1810 Boulevard or something like that. I could be wrong, but I probably am wrong. So I have to look it up.
Somebody has sent it to us. And then Erica is
Oh, I'm right.
finalizing.
1810
Oh,
West Boulevard Avenue, Blivar. I was
never
right.
heard of it. but
Yep.
Avenue.
Well,
That's
if you
where it's at.
ever looked at
It is a school over there. So
ever
you'll see
looked
it's
at
a
the
school.
19, I remember I used to go to Boulevard.
Oh.
Right.
And I had a classmate. We were in the 6th grade. We were doing geography, and so we were doing South American countries. And she said, "What country?" And I'm trying to figure out where it is. I think that's more North Central South America. Where instead of her saying Bolivia, she said Bolivar, who was a general, as I remember.
Mhm.
So yes, it is going to be. I do have the exact address: 1810 West
Oh,
Boulevard Avenue. That's Milwaukee, Wisconsin 53221
Mhm.
Yeah.
from 9 a.m.
Yep, 9 to 1.
Free services. And if you don't have insurance, if you have insurance, or come on down, and we'll take very good care of you. We are packing up food and packing up toiletries and giving away quite a few things.
Mhm.
Talk about as this this medical mission at home.
Mhm.
Can you all give us some history concerning the introduction of parish nurses?
Well, in 1996, I was going back to school, and in my class, it was all of the ADN RNs that were like supervisors, and had really went above. And we were going back to get our BSN, and one fellow nurse was going to go and become um, a midwife at Marquette. So she brought back this paper to me, and it said parish nursing. And she said, "You know what, Julie, this fits you." And I was looking at it, and I'm like, "Yeah, it does." And I hadn't heard about it, so I found out about it. I went to Marquette, signed up for it, and went to it, and completed the program. Then I went to the CEO and I said, "We need this program in our hospital."
Mhm. And at that time, was it Sister Renee Rose
No,
who was the president? Charlie?
Charlie.
It was Charlie.
Charlie
Lobeck.
Lobeck was the president, and he he was really doing a lot of things in diversity and in the
Mhm.
African American community, and he felt that that was a way to get into our community. So Charlie said, "Okay, you can start this program." So I started the program, and we had an office at Ebenezer, and Charlie Lobeck, the CEO of St. Mary's,
Mhm.
the head nun,
Which was Sister Renee Rose,
Sister Renee Rose,
who you did not play with, by the way. You did not play with Sister Renee.
HNIC, the head nut in charge.
they all
HNIC.
they all came to Ebenezer and sat through an Ebenezer service. And our services are a lot longer than
Than mass.
Catholics.
Yeah.
Right. And a lot more lively.
Uh-huh.
Well, it depends.
That's true. That's true.
Because you go to All Saints.
That's right. You're right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they jamming.
They do.
They are. So they cut the parish nurse ribbon, and then that Monday, Sister Renee Rose said, "Now I want you here too." She said, "Well,
Oh, she had it all
I
lined
want
up.
you to go here," and they were Catholic facilities, and I'm like, "Okay." So I started it. I started it with a lot of other churches.
I do know that Aurora also had a program.
They
had a lot of
Aurora was
mhm.
the leader.
Right, because I know Calvary
Mhm.
had always had parish nurses.
Oh, they had a NP that was a parish nurse over there.
Right.
And they would pay like 100%
Mhm.
of the salary for 1 year. And
you-
then each year they decreased the pay. But yeah, Calvary had one. Christ the King had a parish nurse. Uh, um, Bishop Hines had a parish nurse. Uh, it was a lot of parish nurses, and they were all mostly from Aurora. Then, but we worked together.
Yeah, we had meetings
Together, yeah.
throughout the city of parish nurses.
And we learned a lot of things together. It was no competition. We were in it together.
So, what attracted you to want to become a parish nurse?
Miss Julia. Well, Julia and I actually started working together with the diversity initiative before we were even in the same department together, and that's kind of how I got to know Julia. And then when I left legal and I applied for a different position, we ended up under the same umbrella. We had different jobs, but we had the same.
Boss.
We were in the same boss, same division. And as time went on, Julie and I we'd do a lot of stuff together. We'd go into schools and do flu shots. And I got to know her Blanket of Love program. So I got to see a lot of the different things that Julia was doing. And then when our boss came and said, how would you like to be a parish nurse too? I was like, of course, I would love to be a parish nurse. And so that's how I got involved. And that would have been 2000 and maybe 6, I think, when I went to Marquette to complete my parish nursing. And so, 2006 or 7, I'd have to go back and look.
Wow, it's been years.
It's been a long time, almost 20 years.
We had 3 parish nurses. We had a downtown parish nurse who was really into she was Catholic. So she really got into the cathedral and did a lot of things in the mass and everything. And then Brenda was the east side.
Then I ended up more in the lower east side. She was upper east side. So, but I did end up in the Catholic churches.
St. Rita's, St. Hedwig's.
Yeah, I had Hedwig's, Rita. It was 3, and then it was 3 Holy Women. Now it's family of 5 parishes. So now those Upper East Side churches, as well as those, we've all kind of come together as one.
Well, neighborhood.
I want to say that this Sunday I was at I forget.
Where were you?
I was at okay.
I know. I can look. She doesn't have dementia, you guys. Because we were talking. She's just ill.
Rest. I was at Pilgrim Rest. Okay, I was at Pilgrim Rest, and it was his last sermon.
Pastor Martin Childs.
Pastor Childs, and you know he looks young to be retiring to me, and so it's to each his own. And I was packing up my stuff, and I was leaving. And he came over to me and he gave me a blessing that I didn't even know he knew who I was, but he obviously listens to your show. And he said, he asked God to bless me for all of the education that I do in the community and all the help I do. And I was going, how does he know me? You know, he's got such other important stuff to do. But he's a sweetheart. He's going to be missed. And so he really supports parish nursing and all that we do. I did quite a few flu shots at his church, and they said goodbye. And they were really, it was a high-spirited service.
Progressive, his sister is... pastor there, Dr. Donna Childs at Tabernacle Community Baptist Church. And
they had a parish nurse too.
Yes. Well, it's our issue when I was at Metropolitan a lot of times is some of the stuff that people focus on. And I know for Rem Wanzo it was a cost issue in his mind, right? Because at some point the church had to take it on. And because I think Rhonda was trying to get that to happen because she was at Aurora at the time. But the benefit, and we had nurses there, and how we could have benefited from that. Is there, when you say now you go to, it's like if I want to be a hospital chaplain, I'll go through a chaplaincy program usually offered by the healthcare system. I don't know if if Ascension has one. I know Aurora has one. I think they still have one. So when you say you go to parish nursing training, how does that look in terms of what they're training you for?
Oh, it's a lot. But Julie and I both went to Marquette. There were 2 programs in the city, and we both were a part of Marquette's programs, even though we were years apart, and ours kind of played out a little bit differently. There's a curriculum. And it's a pretty intense curriculum, and it looks at really what is a parish nurse, how to start a parish nursing program. It's really about community, about the church community, as well as the community surrounding it. It was pretty intense. Now, mine was a little different than Julia's. Ours started out with a 3-day retreat with people I didn't know in the woods, in a nice home, but it was interesting because I'm like,
Nah, I wasn't in the woods.
I was like, who are these people? And
Something about white people in the woods.
Yes, I'm stuck in the woods, right? And who's the first one that gets killed, right? Who's the first one to die? So I
the
was,
black parish nurse always dies
she
first.
died first. And then after that, then your classes are at Marquette after that. So for me, that's how it was. I had that, and that was Cordova. So that was like a 24-hour intense kind of program. And then after that, the remainder of our classes were at Marquette.
So is it part of understanding the population that you're dealing with? Is it a melding?
It's everything. It's learning about how our spirituality affects our bodies, how to integrate that into our health, how looking at, like we talk about spiritual despair, spiritual bankruptcy, how all of that affects our physical health. And so learning to pray with patients, being comfortable with that, learning the confidentiality issues, especially if you're in a church, if you're in your own church, like Julia, people, how's Miss,
you have 2.
Right. How's Miss So-and-so doing? Right. Well, not being able to not share with the rest of the congregation. They're concerned. They know Julia, they know the person, but really learning how to set all of that up to learning who your partners are, building relationships with your pastor, and having some places have a parish nurse council in their church because they have large churches and they have more people. That's some of the stuff that we learn. What are some other things, Julia?
Well, when my
now let me get this straight. You weren't in the woods.
No, I was not. I was 100% at Marquette, and it was a week-long program, and it was nurses from all over the country. They would come, and they would stay on the campus because the students were gone.
Oh, so yours was just a full week. Mm-hmm. Oh, see, mine spread over months.
But
it's the same material. But
it was part 2. Part 1
was the week on campus.
And then part 2 was like 18 months,
right?
Or something like that.
See, part 1 I think was my in the woods experience, 24-hour, whereas you had a week of intense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was
in the woods.
Nurses from all over the country that came, and they stayed at Marquette. And I was with Dr. Melody Gray. She was in the program with me, and she would bring her own tambourine. And she would break out in a song in a minute. So yeah, it was quite intense. And then we went to Mother Scott and did we had things we had to do in the community, and I did something with Mother Scott. She was such a sweetheart. And Reverend Glenn, he was a part of it, and Reverend Glenn knew me as a child.
Christ Presbyterian.
Yes. It was the woman who ran it. She was so ingrained in our religious communities that she knew who to really get involved. And she was just an awesome woman, and really loved the Lord and really felt that faith was another part of health. And it is. And I learned so much from her. But I also learned a lot from other parish nurses because you would shadow other parish nurses. And um, it was like a lot of the free clinics that we have now were started by parish nurses, because Aurora was really big, really big. I have to say that they were really inviting everybody to become a group. There was no competition, and we all worked together, and that really affected the community a lot.
Hmm.
Freighter wasn't involved in it, but it was really mostly Aurora and Ascension. At the time, we were Columbia St. Mary's Hospital, and yeah, we did great things together.
Hmm.
So,
And at that time, I mean, it still is, but it was intended to be an advanced level of practice, similar to what like your master's degrees or in different clinical areas might be. It's an independent functioning type of role, as far as developing the programs and learning the faith traditions, and because not everybody may be in a parish that aligns with their own particular faith traditions.
And I
So
think that let's talk about that when we get back. We're inside Be Healthy, Be You. Miss Julia Means, Miss Brenda Buchanan, Ascension, Wisconsin. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. Welcome back. Now we couldn't do that to start the program because you weren't here.
Right. You messed up all my.
Yeah, they just
I'm
threw
sorry.
them for a
Threw a
loop.
loop.
The
Yeah,
whole
man, I
production
couldn't play the
team.
rejoiner. or
Just
nothing.
so you know, Julia,
Yes.
they had me pot to the bottled water there as you were not sitting there, and they said this is Fiji. Fiji.
Yeah, Fiji was on air but was not
Oh,
talking.
Yeah.
Right.
Such a slacker.
Yeah,
I, I heard
was
y'all.
not
I was
talking.
like, what they talking about?
Yeah, Fiji took your place.
Okay. Your
Yeah.
hair looks nice.
Well, I figured I'll become
Goldie, what they
Goldie.
call him.
You're
Goldilocks. You
Goldilocks,
understand?
what they call him.
Now I walk sideways when I walk down the stairs.
Oh, okay.
That's arthritis. That's what that is.
My roommate in college, one of my roommates was Eric D. McNair. And Eric used to come down those stairs
Sideways.
Cool.
Looking like the Nicholas
It's
brothers.
just cool.
I was, everything and nothing. I was watching. I didn't realize some of the survivors of the Nicholas brothers. I don't know if it's two granddaughters opened up a dance studio, and it's all tribute to either their uncle or their granddad. To see them, but just man, to watch those dudes dance.
They were amazing.
incredible.
Mm.
We was all talking about, and we'll get back to it because we were talking about dementia, old age, and we're talking about Gladys Knight. But I saw a video of Shalimar.
Oh boy.
They owe too. Because Jeffrey Daniels trying to do that moonwalk, and it was just like, maybe 20 years ago, dog. That's but part of what you're dealing with when you talk about being a parish nurse is aging church congregations and the challenges of those congregants going forward in terms of health challenges. It's different if you're at a church where you still have women in childbearing age. You're dealing with a whole different dynamic in terms of the health issues that you're dealing with. But now, as you deal with aging churches, they have their own set of health challenges and issues.
And that's why, as part of, doing your assessment, looking at what the needs are of that particular church, because each population can be challenging, but when and Julia can speak to this more because she sees a lot of it as people age, not everybody has family or support, or people that they trust to help them out. So, and then, church can be stressful in a good way, right? I mean, especially when the music is good and you're enjoying yourself and, people start to shout, that can create more challenges if you've got health issues.
I had a lot of different challenges to deal with when I first started. And a lot of it was having faith and believing that God is going to heal, but not receiving services, and having faith and believing God is going to heal and receive your services. And that was a big challenge that I had to deal with at first. And eventually, people got to trust me, and they would seek services plus maintain their faith. And
well, here we go.
that was very challenging. That was very challenging. I would have to go to the doctor with a lot of people. I would have to really work with people to build up their faith, but not, there was a fine line to walk. And they trusted me, and they did both. And now rarely do I deal with that now. Most of the people in church know that you have to have faith plus works. You got to go and get your.
No, you don't. No, you don't have to go. Okay, just sit there on your faith.
See what happens.
See whatever you sit there on your faith. You're gonna be laying on your faith. I heard this rap song and oh man, was it DMX? Was dude was saying you want to face the truth? Now you're laying in church facing the roof.
Oh, wow.
Well, that was
Because because I'm about to lose my mind.
That was more of a street reference, but
But think about it. That it and I said this, that of course we had faith we couldn't afford health care.
Mhm.
But if you I mean, it wasn't. Can I preach this here for a moment?
Yes.
The woman with the issue of blood had exhausted all physical, material cures to deal with her hemorrhaging. Then she said, let's go find Jesus,
Mhm.
right? But your first step is to the doctor. And I know some people, and that doesn't, we have been so programmed as descendants of enslaved Africans because we don't question God.
but
Right? We don't. I do.
No,
You know,
yeah.
I mean, but we're not supposed to. And what's wrong with your faith? There's nothing wrong with my faith at this point. All I had to really do was go to 51st and Burleigh, and I could have dealt with this little thing.
But even if you would have, and I'm not knocking y'all because y'all
Mhm.
great on 51st and Burleigh.
Thank you
Doing
for
a great job.
thank you for
Just a
setting
disclaimer.
us up for what you're about to say. Yes.
But
Always.
but the scripture
Awesome
says, but the scripture says it's according to your faith. So it's measured according to
You
what
want to
you
have a real
believe.
difficult conversation?
I love it.
Because if we just deal with reality, you have prayed for certain things, for certain healings to happen, and it did not happen. Hold on, wait a minute. Because what we have turned the creator in is this Santa Claus, right? That you can go and no, it's more complicated than, because if people could, my mother used to say this about Benny Hinn. She said if he could heal, why don't he take us to the hospital?
Well, because
real sick people
And
are.
just get everybody out the hospital. Yeah.
because
we can verify
he's
medically.
not doing the healing though, Keith.
Well, if he ain't the one doing the healing, he can go to the hospital.
Let me explain.
Explain that,
So,
Ricky.
Brother Preacher. So with the whole thing according to your faith, this is just me. I believe that by having the relationship with God, God will instruct you on what to do. He will tell you where to go. He will tell you, just like in my situation, I was walking around here not knowing that I had cancer, but I heard a voice that spoke to me. No, seriously. And I know Keith is laughing, but he's Baptist, so he gonna laugh anyway. He don't believe. I'm just playing.
No, we don't be hearing no voices. God doesn't talk to us that way.
No,
You
but
know, and I
seriously.
think sometimes that voice might just be a gut instinct that God gave us that
Exactly.
something's wrong.
Yeah.
Just a gut instinct.
It's
To
just
know,
your.
I need to go. I need to go to the hospital.
See,
I need to go to the hospital.
well, no, see, but in my case, I was playing ball. So I was out on the court playing ball. And a lot of the young people, they was calling me old school and things like that because they was running by me. So I was feeling some kind of way. This is the
Were you much older
truth.
than them?
Yeah, I was much older.
Okay. All right.
But
Okay.
as I was playing ball, but I was still putting in work.
Okay.
I was still winning though.
Okay.
But they was calling me old school.
Okay.
But
You don't know. You had to mention you don't know if you was winning.
oh no, I won.
You were winning.
Hey, you see them say, Keith, I thought I was winning. I really was losing.
They're like, man, let him make this.
Let's go, man.
I scored 21 first, and we was playing 21 hustle.
Okay.
Long story short.
Hate
But
that game.
man, I was killing. So anyway, and as I'm riding, it could be just your inner self.
But that can also be God, though,
Exactly.
right? Those instincts He gave us.
Speaking to your spirit. So I was riding, and I'm telling you, I heard, go to the doctor and get your ankle checked out. And I'm like, okay, but I'm not gonna go. And I kept hearing, go to the doctor and get your ankle checked out. Finally, I said, I'm gonna go. I went, and when I went, they was like, whoa, you got some issues going on in your ankle. You got to have surgery. So let's do the blood work. In doing the blood work is when I found out about my cancer.
Mm-hmm.
So all of that is tied into me being obedient and going to the doctor.
Let me ask you a question. Was your ankle hurting while you
No.
were playing basketball?
No.
Wasn't
So
swollen.
why
Ankle
were
wasn't
you going to
nothing?
get a check?
Because every morning when I wake up, I would have a sharp pain.
Okay,
Hold
ankle was
on.
hurting.
I would have a sharp pain, but it would go away.
Right.
So I didn't pay no attention, but I was dealing with this for almost like 15 years. That like in the morning time, like I would have a sharp pain, but then like it would go away, so I wouldn't pay no attention because I was good.
Did you pay your spiritual phone bill?
Listen here, Doc. It pays to have some spiritual money in that spiritual years. No.
For you to get that message.
Yeah. And come to find out, I was at the stage too. So I wasn't living with it for 15 years with that, but just being obedient to that soft voice, because I could have ignored it just like I've been ignoring all of this other time.
And I think that gets back to what right before we went to break, that you do find yourself, maybe you have a different faith tradition than the parish that you're serving.
Yeah.
Right. And so understand that. And even though, I'm being tongue in cheek, there are a lot of people who will do faith before they do medicine. I mean, we have to understand that that's real, or there's a distrust of the healthcare system, right? Or there's a cost. I today I watched little Kennedy, and if Kennedy gets a sniffle, they got her down but for me, it had to be pretty severe for them, my mom, to take us to the doctor. So a lot of that is how you go in. How do you because I have learned, or I am learning, how to navigate ecumenical spaces. I'm very mindful when I'm in the community of there might be different traditions than mine. And so how do we find that kind of universal where, we kind of go beyond? Because if I look at it through the lens of a Baptist and I'm dealing with him as Church of God in Christ, it could color.
And those two are close. But if you have, because like when you say an ecumenical prayer, and we always say in Jesus' name.
Yeah.
I don't.
So what do you say?
I will say in all that's holy, or in the name of the Creator, or let the words of our mouths and meditations of our hearts be acceptable in your sight, because you're our strength and our. I understand that there are different people have different things.
So is it
different ways to refer to deity, and or they don't have anything when it comes to deity. So just be mindful; it doesn't lose any power in terms of what I'm doing and what I'm praying. But everybody in the room, if I am praying, and I'm kind of uncomfortable a lot of times, I am a little uncomfortable. Yeah, we're doing a new feature here. I'm sorry. But I think part of that has been my. Yeah.
Of course, everybody heard it.
I'm so sorry.
Oh my God. But no, because I grew up in Protestant space, but I also went to school in the Catholic space. Right?
They believe in Jesus, though. You can say in Jesus. Like you, no, okay.
No, we don't. No, I mean
it was pretty loud.
They believe in Jesus, but I think, I'm gonna really get in trouble on this one. God is bigger than Jesus. When I think about universal God, Jesus is part of universal God. Yeah. And so, and I understand from my parochial lens, we're right. But I also know, and then just the conversations that you have with folks, I think we need to be mindful of how people, that cultural part of religion, and how that, because a lot of what it is really cultural. It's what we've been programmed to think and to believe. In certain faith traditions, it was your lack of faith if you went to the doctor. Like if you're a Christian Scientist, they believe in prayer. Now this is up to the conscience of the person. Say, if I want to go to a doctor, I'll go to a doctor. Okay. But their whole thing is they believe in the power of prayer. And I'm sure they probably have a mixed record on that. Jehovah's Witness, for example, won't do blood transfusions.
No, they won't.
Right? That's part. And so I got to be mindful of that. And then kind of in a broader sense, then when do we step in? Now, there are groups out there, and sometimes they deal with the residual effects of that, where they're saying, well, we don't want to do vaccines. So in a Hasidic community, they have an outbreak of measles because they feel so. Do as society, do we have a responsibility to step in and say, hey, this is for the good of all of us? So I think that you got to kind of be mindful of where you're going in those traditions and how it does impact that person that you're providing care for. That I just got to be mindful, or generational pieces.
Absolutely.
You know,
I mean, you can't like take the Jehovah Witness example. People have in the hospital, may get, well, you're going to die. And but you don't get it. If they receive that blood in their mind, they have died. They can't, they no longer, they won't go to their heaven, and so it may be hard for a person to understand somebody else's values or their religious beliefs, but they are their religious beliefs. And we have to respect that. Even if we, in our mind, think we know better, we still have to respect that. And in the hospital, when it comes to emergency situations or surgeries with the Jehovah Witness, that often is an issue. Because there are certain surgeries too where you're likely to lose a lot of blood. And how do you handle that? Because they're not going to budge.
Oh no,
Because that's their value, that's their belief, and we really don't have a right to impose our beliefs on them. But we need to, no matter how hard it is for us, to step back and respect that.
It's just like final last directives when they say do not resuscitate. Well, from a medical perspective, we need to take every means to preserve life. Right now, this person is saying, well, no, not on that. So there is a balance, between that, but really, especially you all moving in that space where, faith is a big part of this, right? My religious catechism is a real big part of who I am. And depending on what it is, now it would be my hope that we become less superstitious. I think that spirituality is as much intellectual as it is emotional. And to be able to get to that point, God is no less God because you went and got medical attention, right? Or even the shame sometimes that's associated with sickness. And now you're the parish nurse, or even the pastor. It was interesting you talked about confidentiality. Well, what is it? What is our medical thing that you can't discuss anything medical?
HIPAA.
But even beyond HIPAA, there is the sanctity of the confessionary, which means that now if I'm on a religious thing and you come to me, especially me, because I'm ordained, and you come to me and you share something with me in confidence around your health, I can't discuss it. And so people need to understand those little things about when people are coming to you and what you can and you cannot do.
While I was going through parish nursing school, I was still working in intensive care. And at that time, St. Mary's was a hospital where people came from all over the world to get heart surgery done. And I worked with several pastors from different states that would come for surgery. And sometimes they would not heal well. And they would get so depressed. And they would always give them to me, and caring for them and talking to them and be not giving my opinion or anything, but listening to them and trying to get them to speak and really what's bothering you. Why a lot of times they feel that they were left,
Where's God?
Yeah. And just
and we call that spiritual despair.
And I would be quiet. I would give the best care that I could give and the special touch and and they would get better. Their wives couldn't work that out with them, and it was really gave me an opportunity. And sometimes people need to see the faith that you have. Your faith can help build their faith, and you don't have to preach to them or anything, but the way you treat them and the way they see you carry yourself, they see your faith, and your faith is strong enough to help them rebuild their faith.
Is it when we use the term faith, and I'm hoping we're applying this properly. Last Thursday, we were talking about murder victims, and part of it is when you get the bad phone call and how you work through that and all the feelings that you get. But I talked about the importance of a comforting community to provide comfort at that moment. Now, look, what that clergy person is dealing with is what sometimes called in the business a crisis of faith. Okay. Now, crisis of faith sometimes is when you question your calling. Why are you doing it? The world ain't getting no better. God was interesting because our Sunday school lesson is Jeremiah. But I've been preaching this now, and this has nothing to do with you as a parish nurse. It might have a lot to do with us as preachers. Then maybe how we're preaching. And someone said that a lot of times it's not God, it's how we teach about God.
Mm-hmm.
And there's an expectation that we put on God that may or may not be realized, which leads to disappointment, which then could lead to depression. And so I'm telling people, God is probably not as involved in the world the way you want God to be involved in the world. And there's some things that we call God that may not be God. And so but again, it's our teaching, that's our environment. It's all those things that go into it. It's especially as adults, it's hard to unlearn it, but I can appreciate that in terms of that person's going through what they're going through. One of the things that we do is Julia comes to me with her pain. How long do you think it's going to take to get to my pain? Not me taking your pain.
Mm-hmm. But let me tell you what happened to me, and I have this, and yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that's probably inappropriate at that time.
Mm-hmm.
It don't matter what happened to you.
Mm-hmm.
Julia is right now suffering,
mm-hmm.
right? And so how do you do that? How important then is it in terms
of listening?
Active listening.
Mm-hmm.
How about this? It ain't always about you.
It's not.
Right.
Or
it's
me.
Not. It's not. I have learned so much theologically and through these years of parish nursing. As one, the parish nurse is part of the ministerial staff of the church. And some churches wouldn't accept parish nursing because they didn't want her or him to be part of the ministerial staff. I don't know. But a couple of churches push back.
Probably the science.
Push back on it. But a lot of times I would, Bishop Saffel and I would work together. And a lot of times I would say, you need to come now. You need to come right now. And he's like, I'm on my way. Or he'll call and I'll say, yeah, you can wait. So it depends. We got very close. We got very close in working with our parishioners. One parishioner had a psychotic break where she was totally catatonic.
Mm.
I said, I read about it. I've studied it in school, but I've never seen it.
Mm-hmm.
But she is completely catatonic. And Bishop Saffel said, have someone at the bedside all the time, either reading the scripture or singing hymns. He said, because spirit would have to respond to spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay. And do you know that worked?
I am.
You don't believe it?
No, I do believe it.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Because in many other instances, it probably didn't work.
It probably did.
I'm saying some instances it didn't. I am always the skeptic, what and they go, you preach. Uh, people always they say, oh, you're being the devil's advocate. And I used to hear that term, but I actually read a book called The Devil's Advocate and where that term came from.
Mm-hmm.
And what the devil's advocate was
There
there
was a
to
movie
do,
too called The Devil's Advocate, wasn't there?
yeah, and you're there to have that person who's going to be venerated as saint be, in fact, have you done the things that would then allow you to be venerated? That is to be canonized to become a saint. So what I'm saying is that there is a healthy skepticism that we should have, and so I'm going to do it. And maybe and everybody ain't me. And there's just some things that I'm a little slow to put on God.
But it wasn't.
Excuse my honest.
But he knew this person,
Okay.
so he knew her walk, her spiritual walk, or
So you're saying she could
This-
hear that and
I,
that might have brought up.
I could see.
So then there's
if it's-
science
if
there.
I could see if it was somebody that he wasn't close to.
Right.
But this was somebody that he had ministered to
Relationship.
for years, and and I'm as a nurse, I'm going. I read it. I ain't never seen this before, but it worked, and you got to give spiritual relationships and knowledge credit, because there are some things that are unexplainable.
Mm, that's true.
And for real, Keith, you wait. And
No, because we were talking about mangling lyrics.
Mhm. Yeah.
Father alone will not understand it, and we'll understand it by and by. Right
Mhm.
now, I can't explain it,
Mm-hmm.
but because there's a couple of people who go after me on this. I'm and I shouldn't say such. I won't modify facts. I live in a matter-based world. It is matter, right? And I will say that faith is important. Belief is important.
it's very important.
But knowledge is also important.
It is, but sometimes you don't get the knowledge as fast as you do the faith. If you already got the faith, a lot of times it's easier
That's
to.
what Oral Roberts called quick faith. He always said the black people had quick faith. That's why he loved to be able to go and preach before black people, because they had quick faith. And I'm saying, all that quick faith, there needs to be some long knowledge. Because what we're talking about every Tuesday is knowledge. The preventative stuff we can do, the remedial stuff we can do to deal with that. And then
You need that
right.
faith.
Or faith to get you through, faith to give me patience to get through. Because a lot of times people don't heal the way they're supposed to because they're not patient in their healing.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Mhm.
And when you're in that healing phase, there is some knowledge that
Whole lot of
you
knowledge.
are gaining spiritually and physically. God does not allow you in that space without giving you something.
She always does. You're listening to Be Healthy, Be You, Miss Julia Means, Miss Brenda Buchanan. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. Welcome back. Jay, I owe you an apology. And yesterday I made an assumption about your 2.5 hour drive to Green Bay. I apologize for even casting that aspersion.
Yeah.
So I'm
Wow.
sorry, bro.
Those are big words.
Yeah.
too.
You know, I learned all my big words from Keith.
Yeah.
Oh, get you a better teacher.
No, you good.
Get you.
Um,
So I apologize for that, man. I don't know.
yeah. Well, it was.
Don't you know how you do that? You go and say something nice, and then you go, howsoever.
But
I call that the sandwich approach.
Right, I like that. Yeah, but
2.5 hours.
and you know what? Speaking of, and we'll get back to it. We were talking last week about sandwiches and buns.
Yes.
I immediately thought about everybody because we did chili dogs for the Packer game,
Uh-huh.
and it's how the bun is cut.
Oh,
Okay,
Uh-huh.
All right.
it's cut
because
this way.
you were saying you problem, but it's how you cut the bun.
Oh, uh-huh.
Okay.
Or how much stuff you have in it that it won't hold together too. That can be
Well, he did look up.
but
the
it is
meat.
a sandwich.
Yeah, it is a sandwich. When you insert the meat,
It's a sandwich.
Okay.
That's what the caller said.
Look at her face.
That was Shakina was here with us that day. You see, Shakina was with us, not Julia that
Julia
day.
looking like, hold up.
It's a we had a debate on what's a sandwich. We don't want to get into that right now, or we won't get out of here at 11 o'clock. So, but it is a hot
Sandwich
dog
ain't
is a sandwich.
without Miracle Whip. Wasn't that the commercial?
What was your preference? Miracle Whip or mayonnaise?
Mayonnaise. No, I'm sorry, sandwich spread.
Oh, you don't even see that anymore.
Right.
Yes,
you don't
you do.
even.
Remember what
I
they used
haven't
to be
seen
the
this
one
had a
called?
turkey
Yeah, I
sandwich.
see sandwich.
Really?
Had a turkey sandwich with sandwich spread. Yes.
Yeah, I
haven't
see it
seen
all the
sandwich
time.
spread.
I see it at Pick and Save, but there used to be the one called Spit. What was it? It was like a man's. It was
It was the low in. Oh God,
what was that called? I don't remember. That was kind of tasty. I like them both. It depends on what I'm making.
It's like Hawaiian punch in high C.
Yeah.
Hawaiian punch.
is that's top shelf.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's and then high C. But I'm trying to remember which one it
Split,
was.
splin bent.
Spell was it spell? I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It was like blue, white, and yellow, or
And it was tasty. It was like a mayonnaise type of thing, but it was
Well,
Yeah.
all sandwich spread is mayonnaise and relish.
you're right. hmm
so. Okay, so
But it's got a little, but that just mayonnaise and relish is tartar sauce. It's got a little bit of that orangey color to it
Yeah,
too. The
yeah.
sandwich spread. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm
So
gonna
how was
look
the
it
sandwich
up, 'cause
spread
that's what I
made?
do.
Because it is different from mayonnaise and it's different
I
from
know
Miracle
my
Whip.
grandmother could take a piece of American cheese and some light bread and do sandwich bread. That was like the best
Yeah, that's fire.
sandwich
Yeah.
ever.
I know exactly.
No meat.
Yeah.
Just because
Yeah.
it was the sandwich spread. I'm trying to get Kennedy to start liking sandwich spread, but yeah, I do. And I'm gonna tell you, it's a tough one. But sandwich spread and spam,
Oh yeah, fried spam.
yeah. Oh, that's
Yes,
the only way
sir,
you can
Doc.
eat spam.
Yeah.
Ain't eating that.
You ain't eat what?
Spam is
Spam?
great.
Ain't eating it. Nope.
Why?
Why?
Talk to me
I
because she
barely-
knows something. She's smiling.
No, I don't. I don't want all kinds of squished up stuff put together.
You should read
I
it.
eat
It's
it.
pork shoulder. It's actually a very good part of the pig. Now, to my
It don't matter.
my
It's all
Muslim
ground up.
brothers
I
and
don't eat
sisters,
ham
my
spread
Seventh-day
or whatever.
Adventist
it
brothers and
Ham
sisters.
spread.
is. You know how it's all grind. I don't eat that.
Well, I don't
either.
eat ham spread anymore because when I got to the Mount, I could eat whatever I wanted to eat. I came from a school where you got that plate, that was it. At the Mount, you could eat as much as you want, whatever. If it was there, you could eat it. So I got addicted to ham spread. That used to be, what was that devil? What was it in the little blue can? But that was like ham spread. And then I ate so much of it, I just hate it.
So what about liver cheese?
No.
Nope.
Liver cheese on cracker?
I used to use that to give my dog his pills, and I'd be cringing the whole. He'd be like, and I'd be like,
Or that
Liver sausage.
that
is that what you
that
said?
hog head cheese.
you know, my mother
Ugh.
used to love. I'm sure I ate it
Ugh.
as a child.
Now that is the one where you don't know what's in it.
Yeah.
But you know, seniors, a lot of seniors, they request that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that-
because they
yeah,
grew
that
up on
hog
it, and it's
head and-
German. It's
yeah.
very popular in Germany. Those,
Really?
yes.
Yeah,
The Germans eat a lot of the food
Mhm.
we eat.
A lot of pork.
They eat a lot of
A
pork.
lot of pork.
Mhm.
Probably introduced our particular bovine, not bovine. What is swine? They're not bovine. Bovine is cows.
Mm.
But like the swine, because a lot, even the dairy cow and the steers are not indigenous to North America.
Mm-mm.
It was the bison and the buffalo.
Mm.
And then when Europeans brought over their cattle, that's where you began to see they introduce these folks.
Hmm.
All right. Let's see here as we wind down. So we were talking about the importance of parish nursing. Talk about the event you're having Saturday and what people can expect.
They can expect free health care
And dental care.
and food.
I'm coming.
And I mean,
And there will be primary doctors, but there'll also be some specialists there. There will be some podiatrists doing foot washing and foot care.
and that's a holy event.
That's a holy event. The foot washing and all of that.
If you're primitive Baptists, that is an event that they usually do before communion. There are some people who do that. That goes back to foot washing back during the time of Jesus was a sign of hospitality. Like people would obviously travel in sandals, their feet are dirty, come in the house. They said the servant. I was having a discussion with someone, and there was one time where the master had did it when Jesus came in, where he had washed his feet. So yeah, it does have significance in the Christian tradition.
Well, even when I was over in Greece, in some of the places that you went in, they did have foot washing stations. You had to wash your feet first before you could go in.
Like, take your shoes off when you come in my house.
But
That's
one
right.
day, that's Japan, right?
Mhm.
But the floor was really dirty, and Kennedy had ran, to look like she had a pair of black socks.
Mhm. My feet still look like that sometimes because I'm a barefoot girl.
Yeah, she had on black socks. But then I said, well, let me clean your feet before your mom get here. And so I took the wipes out, and it was just amazing for her because it really was our feet, right? But she was just like, so after that, she would be like, Poppy, look at my feet. Like, oh, I got to wash your feet again.
She's like, she liked
Yeah,
it.
she
Like,
gets out her socks and shoes quick. She gets out of them real quick. There's some people, I have to keep socks on, but there's others, they love being barefoot.
That's me. Love being barefoot.
You know, the most challenging part of parish nursing is being at the bedside of someone who's leaving here.
Mhm.
And you're there for the family, you're there for the patient. And that could be you leave there very drained and dealing with that particular issue. And you're there to support your minister. You're the ministerial staff that's there. And a lot of times, if it's in the hospital, it could be machines going off and stuff like that. Or it could be in a hospice situation where you're, explaining what's going on and things like that. But families are very appreciative of it. A lot of times they ask me to speak at the funeral, and that's challenging because although you are a professional, you do have feelings, and some of the people you've walked real close with them in
They become family.
in your
Well,
illness.
you see a lot of medical professionals there who are there for in life.
Mhm.
And they, as you said, develop a relationship with the family. I think that's the other benefit of having a parish nurse, that you have someone there that you can develop a relationship with, that you have trust in. It was obvious when you said people would call and you would tell them, hey, don't worry about it. Here's what you need to do to get through it.
And people that have been sent home with their IV still in,
Mhm.
I had to go and take the IV out and call a nurse and fuss at him.
Right. Why didn't you do
You
that?
missed this. And
Yeah, a lot of liaison work between the healthcare providers and the patients. I'd say we do a lot of that.
yeah.
So do you get great satisfaction and joy from doing this?
I do. I mean, I feel sometimes it's hard because I work with a little bit some of the same population Julia does, but I also work a lot with homeless and a lot of them I might be their only support. They might not have family, and so then I get I get attached. They get attached. I mean, I've had some go to the church, take them to my church or help them develop relationships with other people. But then at the end, you're it. When they're leaving this earth, you're the only person. There is no family around, and so it's a huge responsibility. And although I'm grateful to be able to do it, I mean, I grieve just like a family member would. And but you still got to be professional and be there for them. But then when it's all over, like Julia said, you're pretty drained.
So what do you do for self-care? Because
Mhm.
Jesus said, physician, heal thyself.
Mhm.
What do you do?
Well, I like exercising. I particularly like being in nature. That's a big thing for me.
Don't do what he does.
What does he do?
Go to the car.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, now
Yeah.
going to the
okay.
ar is natural healing. Now
Uh-huh.
in the
Okay, natural
sanctuary,
healing.
natural healing. Hey, but did Trump just say something about it? It was just on the news yesterday that he posted a video saying how marijuana would heal the body and that you shouldn't take.
Tylenol.
Yeah, he just
What?
posted.
So
a
let's
video.
have our pregnant women taking. Okay.
Yeah, it makes no
I
sense.
don't
But
recommend
he
that.
posted a video. It was an AI video.
But there is this. I know that there was a particular when we were doing what was that one key question, and it was developed in Boston, and the physician, one of the developers, was in, and she was saying based on the population she was dealing with, her issue was the women would stop smoking, they stopped drinking, but she said, but they still smoke weed.
Mm-hmm.
And so, it's out in terms of there's still research being done in terms of the impact that it might have. But, there are some people argue that cannabis helps people with pain.
Oh, well, I do believe that.
No, that is true.
100%.
Yes.
That
No,
it
that's
does.
true.
I mean, and it does stimulate an appetite. So when you're looking at some of those cancer patients,
People dealing with chronic wasting.
right, you've seen the benefits in there with the pain and the ability to then eat something, with that. But those are controlled kind of, in the cannabis, the medical marijuana is different than what
Street.
street
Fire.
marijuana.
Now, I
But-
might have to push
right.
back on that one.
good drugs there.
No.
boy.
But it is regulated.
I don't know
I
what
might have to
what
push
they
back
done
on
put
that.
in there, and the smoking of it that is
That's the issue.
that's
Yeah,
the
that's
But
the
now
issue.
you have edibles.
Yeah, so you can eat it now
Mhm.
and you can drink it. But when I had my surgery on my neck, when they cut me across, they gave me, I don't know if it was Percocets or
probably.
it was something that was real, but it made me feel like I felt sick and then I felt like crazy.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So I stopped taking
Is
it.
that an opiate?
Mhm.
Oh, Percocet, Dilaudid.
Yeah,
Oxy.
and it made me feel it was oxy.
A lot of people don't.
Yeah,
don't even take
man.
it.
So I was
Mhm.
like,
And
no, I
it'll
don't want to take this.
constipate you too.
And
Yeah,
we
oh,
do,
yeah, I
and
was
we do, except for extreme pain, we do see there's a different
A
way
lot of
that we look at
meatballs.
pain than we used to in the hospital or in healthcare in general. We used to you just wanted to control 100% of the pain. Now we know you be uncomfortable is different than pain.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we want to manage the pain, but we're not going for this zero effect.
Yeah.
You're going for, if you have a headache, you there's some pain that you can manage.
Mhm.
But so we don't want to just give you meds to take away all the pain anymore. Now, if you've had a heart transplant, you got those are you're in the hospital, they're going to control that for you.
But a lot of them are putting blocks in
Mhm.
so that
Yes.
it
Less-
decreases the pain immediately.
Without all those side effects.
So, but I mean, but the body can naturally heal itself.
Some things.
It's working on
Some
it.
things.
But but you probably needed some
But we-
assistance.
yeah,
if you
we
wanted
need
to
help.
Because they
properly.
want you to move. The reason why they want your pain managed, because they don't want you just laying there. They need you to
Okay.
get up.
And
They
move
need you
around.
to start moving around, and so you don't get complications of
Mhm.
pneumonia, clots, and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So
and infections.
that's
Oh, okay.
why they
Mhm.
want you to
You heal faster.
yeah.
When you've got blood flow,
When you
flowing through your body,
circulate,
you're
yeah,
getting
yeah.
nutrition, you're getting oxygen through your body, you're decreasing the risk of infection. So yeah, even a heart transplant patient, they're standing up.
They're getting you
But
up.
that first
Oh, you're
day.
going home
But
by
I
2
thought
They're
that-
standing up. Yeah. So we know that laying in bed, is not good for any of us.
Wait.
Even if a healthy person laying in bed or sitting all day is not healthy.
But they tell you that rest and recovery is the key to the body healing.
Right. Rest does not mean you don't move. I mean, if you're tired, you need to rest, but we also need to move to increase circulation,
For the
to
recovery.
increase
You also
the
don't
joint
wanna-
mobility.
Let's say if you had knee surgery,
Right.
Yeah.
you don't want
Because then it gets stiff.
Mhm.
no, but I'm saying even you say rest because it's what wow.
We don't want you running around doing everything you used to do.
right because rest, and then there's also rehab. Right
Mhm.
now
Right.
you
Right.
you need to
Mhm.
build it back up again,
Yeah.
especially if you're talking about ligaments, muscles,
Yeah.
things like that, where you now you want to build it back up, but the activity. And again, not that I went to medical school, but the activity is real important in terms of rest.
And spirituality is the same way. You
Mhm.
have to
Preacher, help us.
Exercise
Oh,
it.
mama.
Help
Hold on.
us.
Pray, read
That's
your
all.
Bible, be in communion with other people.
Oh,
you
mama.
need
That's
to.
what when preachers get.
Are you gonna
deep,
pay
they
us
say
now?
they help
Oh, I'm
us.
so into your life. God bless
Ooh,
you.
You got the big offering.
Well,
Julia, where we going when we
hey, but
leave
Keith,
here?
check this out.
You came
On
for the
Friday-
$5 line.
No,
Yeah,
listen.
where we? I only got $1 for
Listen.
something. I don't remember
So
what
I'm,
it
gonna,
was. But
I'm gonna tell you why I changed to 5. On Friday, Will Martin had. No, hold on, Doc. I ain't trying to get it from her.
Right.
I'm just telling you from my spiritual at the point. Will Martin had a guy in here that's a millionaire / billionaire. I guess he's up there with a lot of money. Anyway, he was talking, and the things he was saying, he was dropping gems. So I sold into his life.
Mm.
I just gave him a $5 bill and said, "Hey man, thank you for the information, man. I just want to sow into you." At the end of the show, he sold back into me. He gave me $100. So that was a
Look.
$95.
Julia,
That
you
was a $95 profit.
you
So Miss
did-
Julie,
wait,
I
do
need you to speak.
remember?
I need you to speak to the Lord.
Wait a minute. Do you remember Julia didn't bring a purse for her today?
Now, this is what I need for you to do.
Okay.
I need for you to take that 5
Uh-huh.
and apply it however you need to apply it. But just remember, when God blesses you on Friday, to come on back this
On
way.
Friday, payday.
Come on back this way and sow a seed to
Julia,
my church.
I
Amen.
think I might
God
get
bless
that
you.
$5.
You do. You were doing so well.
Right. So I
I should have cut you off. You're doing so well. Talk about what was happening again Saturday. Give us the address and time.
1810 West Bolivar Avenue. It's on the south side. I'd say close to around 20th and
Boulevard.
I
Boulevard,
haven't
how
mapped it
close
out yet.
yeah, it's not that far.
So
So
we GPS that?
yes, you can. From 9 until 1. So free dental care, health care, vaccinations,
Feet
lots of
washing.
feet washing, resources. There will be many community resources there. Placed and if you don't have a medical home and you come there, we will get you set up with a medical home. So we want you to just get there, get whatever your immediate needs are taken care of, and then we can help get you set up with a medical home also. And we're not saying you have to be coming to Ascension. There's a lot of different medical homes in the community that we can help, whether you're insured or not, get you set up
That's in
with.
St. Francis.
Yes.
Oh. Okay. That is near. Ooh. Okay, 16 minutes. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's in St. Francis. I knew that was all right.
Yep. So
Let me,
we'd love to see you there.
Let me thank Miss Julia Means. Again, she's not wearing her glasses, y'all. She's on her way back to Ebenezer,
Got some
Brenda,
money,
thank
though.
you.
Mhm.
And she got a few dollars.
Got some money.
Some gas money.
Some-
I got 5.
That
on
money
it.
right there is blessed and highly favored.
Debo, thank you. Jermaine, thank you.
Mhm.
Clark,
You
hey,
man.
good Lord willing, Creek don't rise. Hope to talk to everybody tomorrow. And as always, go for this place in peace.